So I got a question for you. I'm sure a lot of you know who, Fathom Events is, and that's not Phantom, it's Fathom. That's Fathom events. And again, like I said, I'm pretty sure you know who they are. And in case you don't, Fathom Events is basically a cinema-based organization company that specializes in re-releasing movies for either anniversaries or for one-time showings during the weekend, so that you can experience them on the big screen as the creators originally intended you to do so. A good example of that kind of a situation is the animes that get released, the anime movies, like some of the One Piece movies, or the Naruto movies, or Dragon Ball Z movies, or Sailor Moon movies. The reason you don't see them, on a regular basis on the marquee when you go to the theaters is because they were only released on the weekend or on Pacific days throughout the week, so that you can at least experience them on the big screen as originally intended, as, like I said, the creators wanted you to. But besides that, you also have, like I said, the situation where certain classic movies from the past, like the past decade, the past 2 decades, couple of decades, you name it, they also specialize in releasing, those movies on the big screen. Now, according to what I've understood, some people have had good experiences with it and some haven't. One of the movies I wanted to see, that they were re-releasing in theaters for its anniversary was, of course, Transformers the movie. And from what I understood, some people didn't really have much of a good experience the last time Fathom Events did it. They basically re-released the movie because the visual representation didn't match up to what was released on Blu-ray recently, and that was for the 30th anniversary. So, needless to say, even though there are some people that are going to go to this one, and I originally planned to do so, but plans had to change, because God intended it to. Basically, and no offense, Lord, but basically, there are some that are going to go, once again, to see the movie in theaters for its 35th anniversary, while others have pretty much decided to opt out because of the previous time they saw it for the 30th anniversary, like I said, because of the visual representation that was seen on the big screen. Now, with that said, Transformers isn't the only one that Fathom has released to celebrate its anniversary. Recently this year, they've done The Great Muppet Caper. I think recently they did Willy Wonka, and I think they're on the verge of planning to do the same with, especially in time for the Halloween season, Carrie, and a few of the classic Universal movies, like Frankenstein, Dracula, and all that. They also, I think, are planning, if not about to, re-release the original West Side Story to kind of promote the new one coming out in December. So yeah, they're basically very much associated with those kind of films. That kind of presentation. Whether, like I said, it's one night or one weekend's worth of watching a movie on the big screen, whether it's an anime movie, mostly an anime movie that the creators originally intended to be on the big screen, but mostly, like here in the U.S., you're bound to probably see it for the first time on places like Amazon Prime and Netflix and Vudu and all that. So, you get that experience. Like, I think they might have something to do, not saying they will, but I think they might have something to do in limited cinemas across the country with the G5 movie being in theaters, at least for the weekend. You can't tell me that Hasbro, along with Netflix, wouldn't want them to have at least that, one-time experience, even if it's for one weekend and that's it. So I could see them eventually, if not indeed, doing that. But the obvious question that anybody has about Fathom Events is, should they organize the scheduling better? In other words, should they schedule to the point that everybody gets an opportunity to see the film. And in my honest opinion, I think they should. Because when you, for example, going back to Transformers, they have it scheduled for noon on Sunday in the theaters that they're going to be showing it in across the country, as well as they have it scheduled for 7 o'clock, on Tuesday evening in the theaters across the country they'll be showing it in. Now, you might say, 7 o'clock works out fine. Everybody gets to go see it. That might be true. And you could say the same for noon on Sunday. That might be true. But there's a few factors you have to put into play. One, we're back in the NFL season. Regular season for football has started back up. And that's my timer going off to let me know my soup is ready. I'm going to get me some lunch before I go somewhere in a little bit. But anyway, you have to take into consideration NFL season is back. And a lot of priorities will be on watching football on Sunday, along with going to church, like going to Sunday service either online or in person, as well as watching football. That's going to take precedent. And then you look at Tuesday, you might say, well, that's even better. Here's the problem. Tuesday is the second or third day of the week, mostly the second day of the Monday through Friday work week. And you have to take into consideration that a lot of people are going to have to get up for school work for the next day, as well as for school. And unless the theater is right next door to them that's showing the movie, that ain't going to work out. So to me, using that scheduling for Transformers the movies re-release for its 35th anniversary as an example of them having to organize their scheduling a lot better, I think they should start really planning. I think they should. They should really start planning a lot better in the future. Because I also look at some of the events they do for a week a little bit, like every other day during the week. Like, one of my mom's favorite Christian-based movies, Courageous. They re-released it in theaters. It's known, and they call it the Legacy Edition. But it only has one-time showings throughout the week. And some of these showtimes obviously do not work with anybody that would like to go see the movie on the big screen if they haven't seen it before. Even though they may have it at home, they've never seen it on the big screen and they would like to experience it, especially if it's a Legacy Edition, maybe with some added amenities, afterwards, here and there. But they can't because of scheduling, because the showtimes conflict with maybe other plans. And I'm sure the same went when they did the re-release of Great Muppet Caper. The same went for when they re-released Willy Wonka and West Side Story. The showtimes conflict with other people's, personal lives, if you know what I mean. And the same goes for the one-time release in theaters for the weekend only, or for a certain day throughout the week, of an anime-based movie that, like I said earlier, you're bound to probably see for the first time on streaming services like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Vudu, Hulu, you name it. Or Disney Plus, HBO Max, you name it. So honestly, I think Fathom Events needs to schedule better. They need to look at the fact that, okay, obviously these times, during the week are not going to work, or these times during the weekend are not going to work. How do we fix this? How do we make this, better? And in my opinion, when it comes to Transformers the movie, they should have re-released it the weekend, I should say, it came out. Or before the weekend, before its anniversary date of when it came out. Or at least re-release it that week. Even if it was a one-time showtime even if it was a one-time showing each day, I should say, release it the week of its of the release of its original anniversary. What I'm trying to say is, release it on the anniversary of its original release. It would have worked out better. The same with Willy Wonka, the same with West Side Story, the same with Great Muppet Caper, the same with any of these. Basically schedule it. If you're doing these anniversary re-releases, schedule them on the weeks that basically mark the official anniversary of the original release. That way, even if you start on the weekend, you go from Saturday to Saturday, you still give people ample opportunity to see the movie on the big screen. You don't just say, "Oh, here's this day and here's this day. You better go get your tickets again to go, to go see it." You don't basically put people into that situation to where, they're like, "Okay, do I want to do it? Let me see if I got anything planned." Or they look at the schedule and like, "Well, I can't do it that night because I got work the next day, or the kids got school the next day. I can't do that." So to me, what Fathom Events needs to do when it comes to, like I say, the anniversary re-releases, is to do a week-long re-release for the movie, 7 days straight, from Saturday to Saturday, and give people opportunities throughout that week to see the film. Don't schedule it just for 1, 2, or maybe 3 days, individually throughout the week at certain weird times, because no one's going to have the opportunity to see it. Because like I said, in the case of, now you got football season, NFL regular season is up and going. You got, for example, people having to work the next day or go to school the next day. So it doesn't work out. It doesn't, gel with the people that would like to see movies, like, let's say, Transformers the movie, or Courageous, or West Side Story, or some of them you have coming up, like Carrie and all that. It doesn't gel with them. It doesn't really gel. So if I'm Fathom Events, I schedule better. I organize my planning. I work out, a scenario to where, okay, I want to re-release this movie because its anniversary is coming up this week. I want to re-release it throughout the entire week, and there you go. Talk to the studios that own the distributing rights to the film and say, we want to do it for a week, because not everybody's going to have an opportunity to see it, on these certain days that we would schedule it on. So let's do it for a whole week and give people an opportunity to see it. Because you know what? If they do that, people will appreciate it better. You can promote all you want that this is happening, that's happening, da. But if you go the route of a week-long release, even if it's for a new anime-based movie that, eventually you're going to see or is scheduled to premiere on streaming services like Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, you name it. Even if you have an anime movie that's scheduled for the release on one of those services, at least you could give it a week-long release in theaters, and as I said, allow it to be seen on the big screen as the creators originally intended it to be seen. But honestly, guys, I believe that's what they should do, because even though I understand their good intentions and I understand that sometimes they have to work with what they have, it doesn't work out for everybody, especially the audience they want to target to get into those theaters to sit down and watch a movie on the big screen. So to me, Fathom Events, you need to schedule and organize your planning a lot better. Talk to the studios if you have to, talk to the theaters chains if you have to, but schedule better. Because I guarantee you schedule better, people will appreciate you more. But what do you guys think? Do you think Fathom Events should schedule better? Do you think they should look into how they plan a re-release for a film? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Comment during the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Check out my Teespring store, as well as go to my Patreon at BW Roses, as well as check out BW Roses discussions on your favorite audio podcast affiliates like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, you name it, except for Pandora. Still working on that. As well as like I said, as well as check me out at my Vimeo channel as well. It's a new Vimeo channel I have, which is also under BW Roses. That's sort of serving like a backup, like Dailymotion does, just in case I have to upload, let's say, PMVs or fan vids on there that can't be seen on YouTube due to copyright situations. A good example of that is the Speed Me Up video, which I had to basically re-upload once again but this time I have a cover remix version of it, you know, for the video that's apparently playable but still copyrighted. But if you want to see the original, go to the Vimeo channel and you will see it there. I did provide a link in the previous video before this, so you guys could check that out. But let me know. But again, thank you all for watching. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think Fathom events should schedule better? Let me know, and I will talk to y'all later.